If this didn't work out, like it was over for me, you know, for my family.
It smells so good. Most beautiful smells in the world is coffee in the morning. Let me get what the song about. So that chips. We're gonna eat the meat. Like dinosaur? How you know right there.
So I was 23 when we opened the restaurant, and you know, my family just kind of dropped everything to do this. So I was the one who really pushed them into it, and you know, my dad was doing this to kind of set me up for, you know, the future, and obviously himself up for retirement. But if this didn't work out, like it was over for me, you know, for my family. We were gonna have to start off from square one, you know, and find a job and hope that we could find one, you know, fast enough. And with the culinary industry, man, there's a lot of kids graduating every single year, and so it's hard to get back in once you've gotten out, because man, everybody's fighting for those few positions that are out there. So it was scary. I'd never done this before. Run kitchens, but never even really managed a restaurant, let alone open a brand new restaurant. And so I remember when we were starting to open and we were going through training, and investors kind of looked at me and said, "Have you ever opened a restaurant before?" And I was like, "No sir, I haven't." And he's like, "Have you been a manager before?" And I said, "No sir." And I could tell he just kind of like had fear in his eyes, like, "Oh man, what did we just do, you know? Who did we just give all this money to open a restaurant, right? And invest all this money in equipment, in furniture, and tables, and silverware, and everything, right?" And myself, I mean, I'm already scared as it is, right? And so it's just building and compounding on that fear. But one thing I knew was that I couldn't let that show when I was training my employees. And so when I was training my employees, there was this confidence that, and it's positivity, that, you know, knew I had to make this work. And basically what we did was we created this ambiance and this energy based off of youth. In the restaurant industry, wherever you go, you're generally waited on by a younger individual. The bartender's a younger individual. You got a bunch of young people generally cooking the food. And so what I decided was like, you know what? I can either make this the stereotypical young guy who's gonna fail and fall flat on his face, or I can try to make this something different. I can try to be the young guy who sets an example, and not just sets an example, but really creates a story that all of these other servers, bartenders, cooks, bussers, hosts, and everybody in between can kind of look up to and be like, wow, you know, this guy's 23 and he's living his dream. Why do I need to think I need to wait till I'm 40 to live my dream? think that was kind of what fueled and kind of set that burning fire in me, and kind of gave me that confidence that I didn't really have before. Was, you know, being there for that person. And not just doing it for myself and not just doing it for my family, but knowing that this was going to affect somebody in some way, and they were going to find it within themselves to start things immediately. And since we've opened, we now have, you know, servers that started out as servers, and then they started bartending, and now they're bar managers, and they own the restaurant. I mean, they're literally taking ownership themselves. They're creating new menus, they're costing things out, they're making sure that just everything is being done, you know, to the T, and owning the experience with the guests. And people from all over Dallas and bartenders are, you know, even coming in going, wow, like, this is so cool what you've done. And it's really nothing that I've done. It's just that what I've inspired in my employees to do, and they've been able to put themselves in the restaurant in an amazing way. And people come back, and they don't really come back for the food, they don't come back for the drinks. They think they come back for the food, they think they come back for the drinks, but really what they're coming back for is the personalities and really everybody's selves that they've put into the restaurant. That's what people are coming back for. And so at 23, I was able to make this thing happen, and obviously it wasn't me. It was me knowing that I couldn't do this myself, and that this was going to have to be a group and a team effort. And, you know, just trying to look at it as, if the one thing I can do is inspire somebody else to live their dream out when they're young, and not say, oh, I've never opened a restaurant before, I don't want this opportunity, it's too big, it's too scared, you know, I don't want to do it. I think my biggest asset when it came to this was I wasn't afraid to fail. Even though there was fear, there's always going to be fear, but I wasn't afraid to fail. I was more afraid of not taking the opportunity, because to me, I was more scared of missing out on what could potentially be great, rather than missing out on an opportunity like this.